All right, Tokusatsu Girlfriend Kiramager, episode 3.
This is episode 3?
Of our, yeah.
I thought this was episode 4.
No. Why would it be episode 4?
Because we did 3 episodes already?
No, we didn't.
We didn't?
No. We watched episode 0 for Patreon.
Yeah.
We watched episode 12 for Patreon.
Yeah.
We watched episode 0 through 7 for episode 1.
Yeah.
8, 9, 10, 11 for episode 2. And episode 3 is this one. It's 12, 13, 14, and we just finished 15. You ready?
Yeah, I just thought this was episode 4.
No, it's episode 3.
Okay.
Technically, it should have been 4 if we were going by the episodes that we have been going. I crushed my finger before we started this.
And then you crushed them like twice, and then you hit yourself in the face with the mic right before we started.
Not doing good. Good thing we're not doing video.
I know. I would look ridiculous right now if we were doing video.
Oh, can I take a picture of you real quick?
I look like a hat.
No, you
my
don't.
God.
No, you don't. Hold on. Let me get a photo.
I'm gonna hide behind the mic.
We're kind of in a makeshift because I've been reorganizing the room and everything in here. It looks nice probably from where you're sitting.
I have a mic in front of my face.
Oh, okay. Welcome back, everybody.
Hello, I'm wrapped in a blanket.
Welcome back to Tokusatsu Girlfriend.
Welcome back.
Episode 3.
We never left.
Well, you have to leave. You got to go to work.
Yeah.
Lauren's in a goofy mood, so this should be a fun episode.
I wouldn't say goofy. I'm not trying to be.
You feel like you're in a goofy mood. Was it because of the last episode we just watched?
Yeah, maybe it put me in a good mood.
I think Blue always is going to put us in a
Oh
good
my
mood.
God, he's the best.
So we watched episodes 12, 13, 14, and 15. So for these 4 episodes, for this episode. So if you're listening and you're watching along with us and you haven't caught up to that, you might want to do that because obviously there will be spoilers ahead. We're going to talk about the episode. And if you're on Patreon, first of all, thank you guys so much for supporting. Thank you guys so much for helping make this show and other stuff on my YouTube channel a thing.
And for fueling my Starbucks habit, because sometimes I get Starbucks with that money, but not often.
Yeah, you do.
I don't want them to think their money is going towards an unjust thing.
Well, it's mostly going for the internet.
It is.
Yeah, we have Google and they charge an arm and a leg.
Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, we moved to a 4-episode thing. So if you guys haven't watched those 4 episodes, you might want to do that before we get into this. Obviously, there'll be spoilers. And for those on Patreon, you guys are getting this episode early and you can watch episode 12 with us. We have a live commentary. We watched the episode, the appearance of our 6th Ranger.
Woohoo!
Kirame, shiny.
Silver.
Yeah, well, his like little thing says shiny every time he shows up. But yeah, anyway, let's jump into it. So episode 12, what happened in episode 12, Lauren? Can you remember that far back? We watched a couple days ago.
The shade. And yes,
the library is
open. So Sayo is off on a mountain because there was some disaster up there and they needed a doctor. And so she goes up there and the others are like, whoa, remember that urban legend about the mountain maiden with the good
I don't remember any of
legs?
this. It's actually, I'm the one that can't remember this.
And they're like, we're not going up there. And Sayo better be careful because that urban legend is clearly about her.
Not to be trifled with.
Right.
Or
and
truffled with.
Truffled. I am not to be truffled with. And so then it cuts to her and she's helped all the people and she's like, oh, don't worry about me. I don't need a helicopter. I've got one of my own. Go ahead and leave me. And so they do. And she goes to call Helico and she's like, oh my God, I forgot my Kirame changer wrist thing, which
I don't know how.
The comment. I was just going to say, you made the comment of how could you not realize you don't have that? We have those. You bought us those and they are clunky plastic. There is no way.
Well, theirs would probably be like more real, like metal, but like even like wearing a watch. I know like immediately if I have a watch on or off. It's not like, I don't know, like in some movies they have like some sort of thief that like distracts you up here. Hey, look up here. And then they take your wallet and your watch. Like I would be like, hey, that's my watch.
Well, for whatever reason, she didn't realize that she didn't have that. And she just told all those people to go away. She's got her own ride. And then she's like, oh my God, I am stranded up here. And then she hurts herself. She falls down the side of the mountain.
Sprains her ankle.
Kind of invoking that urban legend that everyone is really worried about. And she's just sitting there like, what am I going to do when this dude shows up? And he's all like, whoa, hey, what's up? I'm looking for a treasure. Goodbye. And she's like, you're really going to just leave me here? And he's like, yep, looks that way. And she's like, I don't think so. Take me with you. He gives her this thing for her foot, her ankle, whatever it is that she sprained and hurt.
Some cream.
Yeah.
Sort of.
And he's like, this is going to help you. And she's like, I'm a doctor. I don't think it will.
I don't believe in your whatever
your
this is.
Medicine.
Yeah. I was trying to think of the word for that.
And she eventually cons him into like
giving her a piggyback.
Yeah, she's like, I can't believe you're going to leave me up here. I think she even says she could be of assistance to him. Mm-hmm. And so
she helps him find his treasure and
she's
point him
remarkably
in the right
good at it. And he's like, okay, so they're off on their adventure together.
She'd be really good with we're watching The Hobbit too. Like I've never watched all of them, and Thorin and the gang have basically exactly what our dude here is also doing with the treasure map. Like he's like, oh, I have to follow this by the last day of Doran's light.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because in like the third episode, there was a part that did remind me of.
Yeah, me too.
So we can talk about that.
Yeah, okay.
You brought that up. So they're like off doing their own thing. To be honest, I feel bad. I can't remember what the rest of the team is doing at this point.
Well, I know like they find the treasure, but it's not a real treasure. It's that moonstone or monstone or whatever they call it that like is another like kind of throwaway bad guy. He's got like these Kirame things that she starts noticing. Like he's got like his little Kirame jackhammer.
Which I was kind of like, okay.
It's dumb at first, and then you see him do it and you're like, okay, this is kind of it's dumb enough to work.
I do love that they sent out Jetter and Helico to try and find them. And there's one point where they are literally right above them. And they're like, we can't find them. Where could they be? And they're like literally right there. Okay, Olmec.
Yeah, Legends of the Hidden Temple.
And so I thought that was funny that they were literally right there. And we're like, we can't find them. Oh my God. Her inspiration or Kira mentality. That's what it is. Yeah. It's not strong enough right now. She's lost forever. But eventually they do find them, and to be honest, I've lost all the other details in between that. I just know that they are off on their adventure together. They work really well together. They eventually join up with the team at the end.
By the way, I'm trying to look this up on Wikipedia. Thanks, Ranger Wiki. Plot to be added. It says nothing about the other stuff. I really don't remember. I don't think it's that important because obviously it's the Sixth Ranger. He's there to show up, and like do his thing. And then he does, and he transforms, and it's like, whoa, okay, cool. To be fair, I don't think it's a very good introduction episode. I felt very underwhelmed, especially kind of like leading into it. I don't know. I feel like it wasn't that strong of an episode. Like I feel like their individual episodes were better, and I was hoping that at least not this episode, maybe the following one we're going to get to know more about him.
I agree.
And so then following into episode 13, what happened in episode 13?
I have to think about it. That's the one that that one was kind of weak. We both agreed that this one was
felt off. Yeah, both of these episodes kind of felt off. I think that's also to do with COVID, because these were filmed during COVID time. They were getting back into the swing of things, which is why he was introduced so early too, because they weren't sure if the series was going to be cut down.
When do they typically introduce a Sixth Ranger?
Typically episode 16 is like the most average like that you'll find by season. So it's like if it's 16 and they're not there, they're gonna be there soon. Some have been in like 20. Ninja had it in I think episode 8.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Ninja's awful. They ruined everything.
Oh.
But like this one, I feel because of COVID, they had to push it up a little bit early because they weren't sure if they were going to get to it. They were repeating a lot of like special episodes. Like they repeated episode 0 and episode 1, like kind of like a director's cut. Like they added more footage and more stuff into it, but they replayed those over the weeks that they didn't have new episodes because they were shut down because of COVID.
Okay.
So I feel like that's why it's a little off. I know like in this episode, or maybe it was episode 12, they reveal that he's actually Mabushina's brother. Ooh.
I think that was in this episode 13 because we didn't know. You had the theory that he was somehow related to Mr. H, just based on how they were all acting. Like
if you watch that Patreon watch through with us, I said Mr. H is going to be his dad, and I hate that this was off camera, but you can attest to this. I said, no, he's not the father. He's his brother. And he's older because something with like the stones.
You did.
And that was absolutely true. I think they reveal that in the episode 14.
Well,
but
there is definitely something because at the end of 12, when he's with the whole group, like Mabushina.
No, it's episode 13. Because remember, Mr. H is like off, like making his drill machine, like he's doing something, and he's just like, hurry up, old man, hurry up, my dude.
I'm talking about at the end of 12 where Mabushina sees him and she's like,
oh yeah, she punches him,
and so we know that they know each other.
Well, it's revealed that that's her brother at the very end of the episode.
That's right. That's her. Right. Yeah, that's her brother. But we don't know anything about Mr. H. But we know that, like, okay, there's a history here because
he has that like brooding look. Like when he's brought up, he's like, "Oh, Takamichi." Oh,
and it raises a lot of questions because obviously,
Takamichi. My bad.
Well, I knew what you meant.
Yeah,
it raises a lot of questions because Mabushina obviously looks like
a rock
person,
a gemstone lady.
Everyone from Crystalia.
Even blow pop guy, like ring pop looking dude.
He does. They all look like crystals or rocks, but he clearly is human. So that raised a lot of questions for me, which were quickly answered by the next episode.
Right. And pretty much all of episode 13 is just kind of like he's off doing his own thing, but he still shows up to save the day. You know, he still shows up to save other people's shine as he saves that little girl. There's a couple questionable things with this new guy.
He kidnaps Sayo in the middle of a fight.
That's right. I forgot about
he's
that.
Like, you're good at finding stuff. We're a good team. Which, side note, she gave him a kiss at the end of episode 12.
I forgot about that.
Not because she was like, I'm so enamored with you, but it was like part of her agreement she made with him. Regardless, he kidnaps her in the middle of a fight, and she's pretty okay with it. She's just like, yeah.
She gets scooped up and they fly off on his little jackhammer.
Treasure hunting.
On one hand, I do like the chemistry that they already kind of inspire here, but I really liked, it was subtle. Blue and pink kind of had a thing. Yeah. And it's not just because they have their little sash on their outfit is a single line, because they're both air flight mechas.
There's chemistry.
Yeah. And
natural chemistry, I feel.
Between silver and pink, you mean? Or blue and pink? No,
blue and pink. I think there's chemistry there between.
I feel it's a little forced.
Yeah.
But on the same, I know you've never seen Kyoryuger. It was the third dinosaur season.
But I know, then nope, I don't know which one it is.
It's one with King.
Now I know which one it is.
They had something really good going on in that, where when they introduced their Gold Ranger, the Sixth Ranger, he and Pink of that team had a very immediate connection that they kind of played on for a few episodes. And then because King has to ruin everything, literally like the fourth episode that he's in it, she's just like, I don't care about you anymore. We're just going to be friends. I'm in love with King. And I hope they don't do something like that.
No.
Or they're trying to force, something.
Some sort of, I don't know.
When there was something natural right there with Blue and Pink. And even like when she goes flying off, Blue's kind of in the background, because I'm always watching Blue and he's just like, like he's like upset. And he's just like, he's swooping in on his girl.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I don't know. I really didn't expect for Silver's personality to be like this. I guess maybe I built him up one way in my head.
Yeah, same.
So I'm
It's the biggest problem with being on Twitter.
Yeah, it is. Because I've only ever seen pictures of him.
And you kind of get an idea, a sense of who he might be.
I made up a personality.
What was your personality that you thought he would be like?
I don't know. I guess he is kind of coming into like kind of a cocky attitude. that's mainly what I thought. But this is kind of like a different kind of cockiness. Like he's kind of like a lone wolf, and he thinks he's
at the
best.
Start.
Yeah, at the start, obviously.
In these first 2.5 episodes.
I don't know, but it's hard to explain, but it's a different kind of arrogance than what I thought he had. There are levels of arrogance, and this is a different kind. I didn't think that he'd want to be such a loner. And
I kind of like it. Like, it harkens back to one of my favorites, Go-Onger, where you had these 3 absolute dumbasses who just have the best hearts, and the engines saw them and gave them powers. And then the Black Ranger, who comes in episode 2 and on, well, he's in episode 1, but he really gets powers in 2. He's just like, why would you give these guys powers? They're idiots. And they're like, well, yes, but they mean really well. They do their best. Yes. And even though like Black and Green are also dumbasses, the 5 of them are all professional dumbasses. And it's not until you meet the 6th and 7th Ranger, who have been doing this for a year. Like, they've been literally training to be this elite task force team, and they come in and they like, you know, like kind of in Kiramager, he's just like, you guys are amateurs. That's what I'm getting is like, they kind of call the Go-Onger amateurs, and they kind of, you know, like move them off to the side because they've been doing this for a really long time. I like when they do that, because then when they finally break through to those characters end up becoming really endearing fast, because usually if they play it right, like usually if it's written right too, like they have never had friends. And I'm really excited because in episode 13, when we do break through, he's just like, hey, Yodan, these are my 5 friends and we're going to beat your ass. And he's like, well, I got an army.
14, I think.
14? Oh, yeah, it was.
Because in 13 was just not
13's nothing.
Really, it's not really great. I don't know. I feel bad saying it.
Just going through the motions.
We both said it, that it just, the vibe was off. It just felt like a weaker episode. Like we lost, I know the monster of the week isn't supposed to be anything like super special, but even this monster of the week just really felt phoned in. It was the like Venus flytrap kind of monster.
I know we watched this a couple days. I don't even remember.
Yeah, it wasn't that great of an episode. It was just kind of, I think, trying to develop the disconnect between Mabushina and Takamichi and the rest of the group.
Right.
I think that's what it was trying to do.
Not very successfully.
No, I don't know. It just wasn't the strongest episode.
Honestly, I'm glad that, because every tokusatsu you watch, there's never going to be one season that has, I think this goes with any TV show, any season that has just perfect episodes all across the board. And I'm really glad that we're sort of sacrificing and getting those bad episodes on a character that we don't really care too much for.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
I feel like if they had a throwaway episode for Blue or Pink, we would be furious.
Right.
And so far, Blue has got really good episodes. Yellow, we could afford to, have a throwaway episode on him, but I kind of liked his last 2 that he's done. One where he killed his grandpa, and the other where he's going through Groundhog's Day. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what works here is like they have to get through these motions, and I feel like these are just kind of like filler episodes where they don't really have any time to have filler because of COVID and because the production got shut down, that they have to get these out. And it's the most uneloquent way that they're doing it, which is fine, because when you get to episode 14 and Juru's literally like following him around on his little treasure hunts, and he finds a Kirame stone, like Juru takes it under his guise and he's like, I'm going to turn you into something wonderful. I'm going to turn you into something cool. You're a dump truck. Like, yeah,
I just, the dump truck, who apparently sucks a lot, aptly named gravel. Dustin. So,
oh yeah, keep riding.
I just thought that was too on the nose for me, but
I feel like episode 14 really does have that energy back to it, especially like when the locomotive guy comes crashing through the.
Oh my god!
There's so much to talk about in 14. It's crazy.
That's my favorite monster of the week.
The train guy.
He was cracking me up. He was just running, and then like when they were like, "Hey, you did such and such," he said, "Don't care." Literally, that was his answer. They're like, "Oh my god, you did whatever." Don't care. It just kept going. Oh my god!
And we have one of our best Blue moments too, like where he's throws the wink and the kiss to the bathhouse owner.
Yeah. Oh my god! That and the hearts appeared. He looked like he was in a Snapchat filter.
And the funniest thing is when like the monster comes crashing through because Juru was in the back with Juru was in the back bath with Takamichi, and he's staying in there even though it's getting really warm and hot, and he's pushing his limits. The monster comes running through, breaks and destroys the entire bathhouse, which was a really beautiful bathhouse.
It was. Oh my God. Can we talk about that for just a moment? Because it's not super important, but it was really beautiful.
It was, but it also looked like it was just in the middle of an empty parking lot too.
Well, that too, but it was just so pretty on the inside, and oh my gosh, I can see why people are into those.
Not anymore.
Well, yeah. Maybe not at that one.
The little details in this is what makes this show for me so far, because watching Blue honestly is the best thing. Like I say, when you watch Gokaiger, just watch Gokaiger, but if you ever watch it again, you can literally watch it a second time and it's like a whole new show if you just focus on Green. That's what we're getting with Blue, because Blue throws the wink and the little heart emojis, whatever, over to the owner. And when it blows up, you see the 5 of them jump out of it and you're just like, oh, okay, whoa. But wait a minute. What about the woman? Blue is holding her. He saved her. It's so good. These little details.
It's like blink and you miss it sort of.
Yeah. But I love that stuff, because if you ever rewatch this, like there's a lot of good stuff here. And I feel like if you got cast as one of these Rangers, if you're not Red or a 6th Ranger, you're probably going to be on the back burner, unless you become kind of like a fan favorite, because Yellow's kind of leaning that way. I know they give Senna a lot, but Pink and Blue are kind of, they're delegated to not super a whole lot outside of their episodes. But Blue, that actor literally does everything with every sort of inch he gets in the show. And
he delivers.
He's
so
the best.
Hard.
He is the best.
I think he's both our favorite.
But I really like the scene where Takamichi jumps out of the rubble. I thought that was cute.
Oh my God, wasn't it though? He just, I mean, clearly I knew he wasn't like dead or seriously injured, but like that looked severe when he got like buried under the rubble.
He's fine. He's just pushing his limits.
Yeah, apparently so. But he just pops right out. He's like, I'm fine. And then he tries to
find his changer.
Well, first he can't find it. He tries to change.
Yeah, he doesn't have it.
And he's like, it's under all this rubble. And they're like, well, we can't wait around for you. And I know I said it to you when we watched it, but even Juru leaves. And I was kind of surprised by that.
Well, I mean, yeah, I get what you mean, like, by that, like, because obviously he's not the type to leave.
Right.
But he does come back and they send help. Like, they have the dumpster truck dude, the little baby that they turned him to.
Call him by his name. It's Dustin.
Dustin. Yeah, Dustin the dumps truck. Dustin dumps for days. Hashtag it. Okay. But then, Tommy Tomo has he sends his gang in, and even like Senna.
Chevello.
Yeah, Chevello. And Senna, I don't even know the gems names. Like, I really don't care. But like Green's gem shows up. I don't know.
I might be mixing that up with Kamen Rider, but I'm going to say it's Mach.
It's just cute that like they're also there, but I wish they had more screen time, because I know Chevello got a lot, and that's why we remember Chevello, because he was like a villain in an episode. It was so fucking good.
And sorry, were you done with your thought? Because I was going to jump in about Chevello. Well, like when he was like, oh no, my changer's buried under all this rubble.
Chevello just backs away.
Chevello, you literally could like make short work of this. I know the whole thing was that, Takamichi was like, I'm good on my own because my ring pop uncle told me that I sparkle when I work alone and don't have friends. So I know that's kind of the angle he was going with. Yeah. And I wouldn't be thrilled to help someone out who was like, leave me alone. I'm best by myself. So I get it. But at the same time, I was like, yo, you could literally make short work of this and find his little changer. But they don't. They come back later to do it.
I was worried that like when they were packing all that shit in Dustin's ass, like that they were going to like accidentally get the changer in there too. And it would have been crushed.
Oh my God.
Or
that would have
something.
been terrible. Well, no, but they find it because Juru does come back.
And then they take the compacted rubble and they shove it into
which that was so extra.
It's definitely it harkens back to episode 1 where they shove it up that like faucet monster. Like I'm going to call it. They're going to shove something in the hole of 2 more monsters by the end of this show.
Well, I think that this episode in particular was a great display of teamwork.
Yeah.
That was like the whole, theme, I guess you could say, whether it was in your face or more subtle, teamwork was the overall theme.
Yeah.
Like when Juror comes back and is like, yeah, Yellow sent Chevello and his buddies to come and help you. And he was like, really?
Huh?
You guys would do that for me? He did
Yeah.
that for me? And then he was like, yeah, guess what? Cinna sent Mock to come and give us a ride.
If that's his name, I don't know.
I don't, well, from now, for the remainder of this podcast.
No, we're going to get so many angry comments.
I'm sorry, it's Mock.
But yeah. And then like when they finally show up and he said, I want to do that thing that you guys, and Blue's like, I know exactly what you
I've
mean.
been working on it. I've got it down. Let me do that thing you guys do.
Yeah. And they all do their little
Roll call and then their
together.
pose, and oh my god, he fits in
wonderful.
perfectly. That roll call, there will never be, I'm calling it now, you can hate me if you want, whatever, there will never be a better roll call ever.
I don't agree with that.
That's fine, because I know the truth, and that is there will never ever be ever
Zenkai is already better.
No, it isn't.
It's
Not
so
for
funny.
me.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Not for me.
Whatever. But yeah, they all come together and they all do their little thing. And
They sparkle and they're beautiful.
nice note is that I know when we were watching episode 12 and 13, I talked about when will they introduce him in the intro. In episode 12, they have his name. In episode 13, they actually have, him physically in the intro, which is always my favorite thing to do because sometimes they'll go back in like Sentai or Rider and they'll like refilm certain things.
Right.
Like I love Kamen Rider's openings because they will show you completely random ass shit in the intro. And you're just like, oh, that's weird. Why does this thing have a wall that's like being broken open? And then it makes sense by the last episode. Like it's literally telling you how the show's going to end and you're just too stupid to understand. And it's like, oh, it's really good. But Sentai is just like all around really fun. And I love how they incorporate, and kind of add the mecha in or add the extra heroes in. But yeah, it was a solid episode, but I think the best episode out of these four has to be 15. That one.
Oh my gosh, I agree.
So good.
It's so funny. I mean, anytime Blue has any sort of focus,
He kills it.
he kills it. And he really is stealing the show, whether he's just acting in the background or it is a Blue, centric.
Or it's
episode.
Blue's character acting in something. It's just like,
Which that's what we got in this episode. I feel like this was almost a shared episode between Blue and Silver.
yes. They do that a lot. Like they do that just to kind of like grow the companionship between
I
two.
remember like in
Shinkenger did it. Yeah, Genta and Blue have a huge episode together because Blue hates him.
Well, I was thinking of Chiaki and Ryunosuke.
Well, yeah, that's a
episode.
later Blue and Green. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that came to my mind.
But like when Genta gets introduced, it's Genta's episode. In episode 16, he kind of just shows up and everyone's kind of like grilling him about a sushi cart and he's like getting chased and then he's chasing them and then he's throwing exploding chopsticks. But then the next episode, it's a him and a Takaru episode, kind of, because he and Takaru have history. But then
besties.
Who hates that? Blue. Blue hates gold. And so Genta, remember, he dresses up as the Kuriko to follow and tail Blue because Blue's on a constant regimen. And the two of them get trapped on this hill where they're sacrificing virgins. It's a long episode, and so they have to work together. But they do stuff like that to kind of get you up to speed with this new hero and how they fit into the team.
Well, and I love seeing pairings. That's one of my favorite things is like if it's going to be an episode where two characters are paired up, I'm for it.
But yeah, the one before we had like red and silver and now we have blue and silver. And but then they still give the rest of the cast something fun to do too, like the red light, green light with Mabushina.
That's so fun. It made me want to play that. I haven't played that game in so long.
Oh, one of my last jobs, I worked in elementary schools and I would play that and kids would get so salty and it's like, you moved back of the line, pipsqueak.
Well, when we would play it, I remember it made me think about like in elementary school when we would play it and the teacher would be like, green light, go, red light, stop, 1, 2, 3. And she would count. And I'm like, oh, we really got an unfair advantage with that.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, people play it without the 1, 2,
Oh, hell
3?
yeah. Back in the line, 5th grader. I saw you move. You fell right over.
We had a warning in 3 seconds to stop. So
yeah, well, that's that teacher. Yeah. I'm built different.
Clearly.
But no, it's a fun episode. We get to see a little bit of Baloo and his new role on this show.
A romance.
Kinda. I am in love with the Grim Reaper. Stupid.
And she's just like, okay, then kiss me. But like, apparently
That'll take a year
her,
off his life.
And he's just, oh my God, he is overacting and I love it. It's hilarious. He's like that whole opening scene where he's just like talking to Silver. No, I mean,
yeah. And he's just like, he's in the background, like with the lip balm. Just
that whole scene where he's talking to Takamichi and he never stops. Even when like the camera was behind him, I'm like, okay, surely.
No, he's still going. You can see his arm
hand doing it, and it just it killed me. But we found out that apparently Takamichi has telepathy with Mabushina.
The stones can talk to each other,
and she is just not having it. She's still not over their fight, and how he just wanted to be on his own, and he to her abandoned Crystalia when they needed him.
Yeah, I guess we didn't really talk about that because he was off on his treasure hunt while Crystalia fell, and while their father, his adoptive father.
We didn't really talk about that at all.
Now that I'm like getting into it. Yeah. So the king of Crystalia, he adopted Takamichi because they explain it in like 2 minutes, and to be honest, I wasn't really caring. I wasn't watching. But like he has like a stone inside of him now, and like he adopts him, and you find out that he's Mr. H's older brother, even though Mr. H is aging normally. Takamichi with the stone is aging at a much lower rate.
Much.
So he's still around the same age as he was, who knows, like 30 years ago. He's a Showa guy, as they call him.
Yeah, and they can't believe it.
Yeah, anyway, now that we caught up with that. But yeah, she's kind of still mad at him. She's still beefing with him.
They seem to have a really close relationship from what they showed. And then his like personality started to change as he started to become more interested in treasure hunting. And that's why he apparently wasn't there to rescue Crystalia.
Is Indiana Jones a nice guy?
No.
Exactly. When we see him at the beginning of The Last Crusade, he's a cool, happy-go-lucky kid. He's even got a friend. And you see him like in Temple of Doom, and he's just like, get the car, short round. He's an asshole. Yeah. But you have to be, because he's an adventurer. He's, a treasure hunter.
Yeah.
So I guess that, I don't know where I'm going with this, but you know what I mean?
I get it.
So yeah. And they have like the whole little backstory of like when, again, this kind of harkens back to Silver's kind of weird around the kids. Like he saves that little girl in episode 13 or 12. I don't really remember or care. And then he calls Mabushina his
Wonder
Cutie, this little girl a Wonder Cutie, and he would braid her hair. And then the way that Mabushina explains it is just like, I would always come and see you and you would give me the usual. And it's just like, they could have subbed this better. Maybe it translates better. I'm
sure it probably does. I'm sure that there's something lost in translation.
Sure, but it's just like...
It was very kind of awkward.
But it's cute, though. He like braided her hair. And you noticed this before the show even did anything. But when we first see her in the episode, her hair is not braided. And then it's a plot point later when we see her trapped in the square doing the red light, green light. Her hair is braided. But you noticed that when we were watching it before it even showed it.
There's one thing about me, I'm gonna notice some hairdos. Like
Blue noticed it, and Blue, figured out the plan, and he was like, "Why don't you tell her, telepathically that we're coming?"
It won't work.
It'll work. And then she's like, "It worked," and he's in the background like, "Yes,
I did it."
Oh, I love Blue, especially the closing little end scene where he's got his little lip balm briefcase.
Oh my God. And he's like giving everyone lip balm. How much do you have? That much.
Oh my God. When they were filming the scene of his show too, and you just see Silver in the background, just it's so good.
That happens where he is doing his big shoot, like the one the next day after he spent 24 hours applying lip balm. He's at the big shoot, and while they're filming, here comes Silver, just like, found another treasure, and he just starts like drilling right there.
I almost wanted to pause the episode because I started recognizing some of the equipment they use, which is why I love seeing like Blue scenes, because they were using red cameras because the Sentai's been filmed on red for like years. Red's a really overly expensive, good, 4K sensor camera. But they were using ARRI opticals as well as like a monitor. So I'm wondering like if maybe it was an ARRI camera, like maybe it's an older model that they were, there's so many questions. I wish I could like look at it, from
These
another
are
angle.
The things you take away from it and have questions about.
Because, I mean, Sentai and Tokusatsu in general now is filmed so beautifully, and I wish I could replicate stuff like that. And obviously a lot of it, technical side, is because of the equipment they use. And if you don't know anything about cameras, go look up Red Camera, go look up Ari, like wonderful, good stuff. But that's all I could really see in that moment. But it was a good episode, you know, blue and silver team up. It's good. And it looked like the next episode was a green and silver team up, but...
Right. But I guess we're just going to have to wait and find out. But this was a good one. I really liked seeing silver and blue together. They work well as a team.
The one thing I did not like seeing silver with was everybody dancing, especially at the end. Like, it's not...
They didn't fit that together as seamlessly as the intro.
No, the intro's slick. The endings...
It's almost like he was always there for the intro, and then the ending is just kind of like awkwardly placed.
Well, that's what I said, like when the show first started a year ago, is that the intro annoyed the crap out of me because it has the little kaleidoscope effect where it goes red, yellow, green, and then it like changes to them like fighting, and then it goes... blue, pink, and then it cuts to something else, and I'm like, no, just have like blue, or just have green, blue, pink, you know, like just like keep it going, because it's 3 and 2, and it just made me annoyed. But I remember on Twitter I was just like, that's where they're gonna fit 6 in, and it's gonna feel good eventually. And fuck, did it feel good when I actually got to see red, yellow, green, and then it goes blue, pink, silver. I'm like, oh,
you are whole again.
I really it was a religious experience, but the ending, not so much, with the dancing number.
Yeah. Whatever. I still like it.
Yeah.
I still really like it, but it just doesn't fit as seamlessly as the intro, I feel.
What do you think of Silver's suit? Because that was a hot topic when it first came out.
I like it. Never since, 2001 have we seen silver and orange together so beautifully, you know?
Are you talking about Sailor Moon?
No, I'm just saying in general, that was a hot color combo back in like the early 2000s, late 90s, you know?
Yeah.
Silver and orange. It was a very hot color combo.
They've done it in Sentai a little bit. Like they've done, white and orange and silver and orange, kind of goldish, off bronzish orange.
I'm just saying it's good. And ever since, we haven't revisited that since like the early 2000s.
I think the thing that makes the suit the best, like it is a little odd, like the arm things, the goggles don't affect me as much as everyone else.
The goggles. What? Do people not like the goggles?
No, remember like
who?
Steve Sakai. Throw him under the bus.
Sakai.
He'll never listen to this.
Are you serious?
Yeah, remember we had that whole argument about if the suit was good or not, and I'm like, the suit's beautiful.
Was
it's
I
fine.
Drinking? I feel like I spent most of my time around you guys drinking.
No, that wasn't in person. That was on like Discord or something.
Oh, never mind.
I love the bluish, light greenish kind of gemstones that are on his suit. I think that's what makes the suit the best.
Yeah, I like that too. That color combo is very beautiful.
Because the other ones just sort of match their color and it kind of blends together. Like it looks great. It looks seamless and they look wonderful. But I feel like having it slightly lighter or a whole other complementary color, your eyes just go to him. Like his suit is so good, and his little mohawk horns.
He's clearly the sixth ranger. You know what I mean?
He's super
like
extra.
He's a standout.
He's the most extra on an extra team already.
Oh my God. And you pointed this one out, but I think in the intro, his outfit that they've got him in, that like sparkly cowboy look, he looks like a rhinestone cowboy.
I don't know what that was.
I don't know what it was, but I love it. And I'm so glad you pointed it out. He is giving me fashion. He is giving me Gaga. I am loving it.
So, well, I know Kiara posted on the website itself about how she likes the podcast, but I mean, obviously she paid to have Garo be the winner, and she's come on.
She's
and
invested quite literally.
She's like an unofficial. I guess she's a guest. She is. She's part of the show.
She is.
But yeah. Basically, I was just looking up to see if anybody else had commented, because that's what we said last episode was if anybody wanted to win a keychain, we do comments there. Maybe we need to do something, because people are a little they're they're a little shy.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
I don't know if you guys want to win a keychain, just comment on any of our postings of the episodes going up with who your favorite character is and why. And I'll try to compile all the ones. I know we have like one or two. So.
I'll write you a note.
Oh, no. Oh, wait, to remember? Or
No. The person, whoever wins or whatever. I'll write them a little note.
Yeah, we'll send you a keychain.
You looked horrified that I was going to write you a note.
I thought you were gonna like be like, my favorite character is Blue. Keychain, please.
That does really sound like me, and don't think I didn't think about commenting.
Yeah.
I already have my keychains. So.
I know,
and I didn't even have to say who my favorite character was to get it.
But that's how easy it is. I'll read it off on the next episode. Cool. Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's all that we have. Do you have anything else you want to talk about on these episodes?
Oh, probably a lot, but
Probably don't have enough time.
well, I was just thinking about a whole plethora of topics that I'd love to talk about.
Okay. And they are? I'm calling your bullshit?
You're calling my bullshit. Well, I have a video planned for.
Oh yeah. Tell us a little bit about what we're doing in the future.
So Squall had a wonderful idea because one day at work, I was reading the star chart for Super Sentai because I got bored and I read star charts.
Lauren's gotten really into astrology over the last few months.
Yes, I have. And everything has a birth chart. I don't know if you guys know this, but even TV shows will have birth charts. So I thought
Birth chart is basically like, like if you're born in May, you're a Taurus, but it goes beyond that, like by your literal minute that you were born and
location,
placement.
Everything. It's
And it-
very, very specific. It's more than just, I'm a Taurus, there's like so much that goes into it.
It's like mine even says your mom is a bitch. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah, well, but anyway.
Valerie doesn't listen to this.
I was looking at Super Sentais and I started seeing some
Is
really.
Super Sentai's mom a bitch too?
Well, I didn't really look at the placement for the mother,
Okay.
but I can do that.
Oh.
But I started seeing some really exciting things and just, it was making sense. It was showing a lot of really cool things. Like, for example, there is a placement. I kind of mentioned this on Twitter, but there is a placement that shows that it would be a household name. And it even points out why it would be a household name. I'm not going to spoil anything just because I'm so excited to film this video. But Squall was the one who pointed out, like, hey, you should, because I started telling him very excitedly all of the things that I was, seeing in the chart. And they're really specific things, not just kind of like vague, like, I don't know. These are very, very specific things. That
I gotta get you like a crystal ball.
Oh, I would love it. Like Mashin. Mashin.
I was thinking of like Madame Zeroni or whatever her
Well,
name
I'm
is.
thinking I'm still on Tokusatsu.
I'm sorry.
But
I have left that train.
Squall was the one who was like, hey, after I told him like, oh my God, these are some of the things I'm finding. How cool is this? Squall was like, you should share this. Maybe you should film a video about the things you're finding. People might like that.
Yeah,
you
you
should.
got a huge response on Twitter.
I
for
did,
it.
which again was your idea to put that out there and see if anyone would be interested. And I was shocked with how many people are actually interested. So that's something that I will be filming soon with Squall's help, is going into the astrology of Super Sentai, reading Super Sentai's birth chart, and even maybe starting a whole Twitter account talking about the astrology of Tokusatsu, because it's not just Super Sentai. Everything has a birth chart.
Right.
So I can go into everything, and I'm super excited about it.
I'd be interested to see if you could figure out like some of the actors and what, I don't know, like some of the more iconic actors of the shows. And I don't know, because you need very specific things, and it's hard to do that with TV shows. It aired at a very specific time.
Right.
But
well, there are even astrologers, not to go off on a semi-tangent, astrologers that I follow that do birth charts for made-up characters. Like there's one that I really like. She's done the birth chart for Sailor Moon, which we don't have the birth chart, or the birth time, I should say, released for Usagi, but she's able to kind of predict what that would be.
Sure.
And so I would like to do that with other characters.
that'd be cool.
Yeah, I really want to read Juru's chart. I know that man's a Pisces through and through. I know he is.
My God, I don't mean to like, I don't know, come off strange or weird, but like the last few episodes, his kind of like body language is very, very much points to that Pisces sort of nature. And I was just like, oh, I like what he's doing here. I like how, they're not trying to have him sort of be the more masculine. Like I love when the suit actors kind of vibe with the actors that are actually playing it, and they can really give off the vibe of who that actor is in that suit. And the last few episodes, like they have been nailing the body language of like Juru and everybody.
I forget that it's even a different actor.
That's how good it is.
Yeah, that's really good.
So last thing I want to bring up.
Yes.
Oh, did I cut you off?
No, you didn't. I was just going off about how I didn't even realize.
We've joked about this for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody would be interested in watching this. So if you are, let us know. Lauren likes JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yes, I do.
And we've joked about this for a while and some people brought it up again, but JoJo boyfriend or something like that, boyfriend or something. I don't know what we're going to call it. But if you'd be interested in watching something where the roles are reversed, where I'm not basically showing lore, kind of guiding lore through Tokusatsu, she's guiding me through some sort of, I really don't know what JoJo is. It's just like some buff wannabe Dragon Ball Z show where,
well, I wouldn't say wannabe. It's its own thing. It's its own thing.
I like Dragon Ball because I know exactly what I'm getting with it. It's buff dudes beating up other buff dudes. And I don't know, JoJo just like seems like there's other stuff going on. And I'm like,
I mean, there is, but oh my God, Dio Brando, you are not going to get it. Someone like Dio. All the twists and turns from Diamond is Unbreakable.
If you'd be interested in that, let us know.
Yeah, JoJo, Sailor Moon. I don't know what else that we could do. Those are like the two things that I really like. Yeah, that'd be fun. I'd love to do that.
Well, that's all that we have for this episode.
I'm starting to talk myself hoarse. Like my voice is
same. I should have brought something in a drink. But if you guys don't follow us already, follow us on Twitter at Tokusatsu GF or at Lavender Wave.
Lavender with 2 R's because 1 R was taken.
Well, don't tell them that. If it ever frees up, someone's going to snipe it from you.
That's fine. I was used to it being taken anyway.
Oh, okay.
Nothing changes.
Or follow me on Twitter at Squall Charlson for updates on the show, updates on things in our life, updates on our little son Ralphie, wherever he may be.
Oh, our baby boy.
Our little Kirame Black. I don't know.
Onyx?
I guess Onyx. That's good. Yeah, I was trying to think of what the gemstone for. I was gonna say.
We should know. We just went to a cave.
That sounds weird out of context, but yeah, we did go to a cave in it was really cool. They had a lot of gemstones there for sale.
It was called Talking Rocks, and I was like, we're going on the Kiramager
Don't tell them where it
tour.
was. No, don't tell them where it was. They'll look it up and they'll be like, ew, you went there?
Well,
I'm embarrassed.
You're embarrassed?
I'm embarrassed,
Why?
yeah. Okay, we went to a place called Branson, Missouri.
Oh, you don't want people to know we went to Branson?
It's embarrassing. It's Hickville hillbilly Republican gung ho, and I am not about that life.
I'm not either.